Grand Rising, Virgo. How are you doing today? All right, so let's get into it. My name is Ashley Indigo. If y'all are new here, I'm here to help you see what you can't see, hear what you can't hear, and feel what you can't feel. Sorry, I'm out of breath running up my steps. All right. So Virgo, today we are going to do the December monthly reading, the energy reading for this month. Now, normally I will use my Light Seers Tarot and I use the Loving Words from Yeshua. We're not doing that. I got bored. So we're moving around and we're doing a couple different decks. You know, like all readers, I have a few decks. We're going to be using the Psychic Tarot deck, which I like to use because it's colors, numbers, it's all the things that I read, but the card is actually made for that. And then I have an Angels and Ancestors deck. The Angels is about our guardian angels, as well as our ancestors, the people that come before us in our lineage that we have never met, or that we do not know, or that we even do not know of. One thing that I like to tell people about ancestors is just because we don't know them does not mean that they know us. They damn sure know us because they come before us. You know, we're moving towards the 6. 2022 is the 6, what I like to call the 6. Self-love, growth, love, justice. Those are some themes that we're going to be looking for as we move into the 6th year. Now, everybody's heart spaces is opening up. The 4th heart chakra space is opening up. So what this does is this means that we want things more authentic. We want things that make us feel something. We no longer, you know, in relationships, sex ain't going to do it. It's not going to sell. We want to connect on a heart space level. So everything that feels fake and everything that feels fraudulent to us is no longer doing it, okay? So, Virgo, I'm going to go ahead and read the cards for you, and then we'll get into it. Okay. So 3 of these, 1 of those. Okay. So you have to excuse me. I took a little bit of rest in between, Virgo. My sister was in town, and I was doing that. I was hanging out with her. Then I was down for a few days. You know, it's like when my sister comes, we cram everything in there together, so. Okay. All right, Virgo. That was very simple. When the cards shoot out like that, there's always a little message, okay? All right, perfect. So the first card that we have here today, Virgo, is movement, choices, and decisions, okay? And we've got the number 2. Okay. So right off the bat here, the thing that I get is confusion. Confusion. Because it looks like there's so many different opportunities here. So many different opportunities here, but it feels like you're confused on which one to take. Now I'm looking at the colors of the different doors to take, the different doors, and I'm looking at I'm seeing chakra colors here, okay? So I'm seeing orange for the sacral chakra, the emotional chakra. I'm seeing yellow for the power chakra, which is like right here where the gallbladder is. And I see pink and blue, pink and green, which is the heart chakra space. Just like how there's 2 chambers of the heart, there's 2 colors for the heart chakra space. So there's pink and there is, because one is about love, but the other one is about growth. Growing into the heart space and like living out of it. And then you've got the 5th chakra, which is the voice, feeling free to speak. Okay. I feel stagnant energy in all of those. And the red around, I'm pretty sure that stands for physical. Okay. I feel like you're stuck. I feel like you have decisions to make, Virgo, and I feel like you are not making any decision for fear of making the wrong decision. Sorry about that. I don't even know. It's a little creepy how that does that. That sound, it like creeped me out for a few days. I'm feeling fear. Fear around making the decision. What if I don't make the wrong or what if I make the wrong decision? So much to the point that it's keeping you stagnant in those areas. So you may be, which means I feel like if it's keeping you stagnant in those areas, then it's keeping you out of balance chakra wise. So you might need some chakra work, which is just different energy healing. I feel like you're not feeling like yourself. I feel like you feel out of whack. I feel like you may be over emotional or under emotional, probably over emotional. I feel like you feel 100, you don't feel in control, and it's affecting your relationship with money. It's affecting how things are flowing for you financially. Virgos are perfectionists, so I feel like it's just, you know, when someone strives for perfection, I think it's very easy to feel like you're out of control when you're trying to attain perfection, but yet nobody can attain perfection. And I feel like it's throwing you off. And then anytime people, I don't know if people are still surprised at this point, maybe, but anytime someone is having problems with like self-worth, or anytime someone is having problems with feeling control of their own life, it's really hard to attain money. It's really hard to feel like you're in control. It's really hard to feel like you're in control as far as finances. So either the job you have is not working out, the job you have, the situation around it is not working out, or maybe you're not able to find any work. Maybe you're not able to find anything that is sustaining you. I know when people feel like they're out of control as far as finances, then they usually feel out of control as far as everything else. I see 2 rings here in a heart. I feel like there might be some trouble in paradise. You are either in a union that is no longer fitting you, a union that you feel that you should not be in, or maybe there's just lots of confusion surrounding a relationship that you're in. I feel like someone wants marriage. Someone wants marriage. Someone wants that closeness. If you are in any type of a union, or if there is someone you see, I feel like you want marriage, but it's I don't think that you and the other person are on the same page with that. Everyone's heart space is opening up, just like I said, moving into the 2022. Everyone's heart space is growing. Everyone is wanting authenticity. Virgo, I don't think you're being real with yourself. I feel like the growth is almost stunted. Like you're wanting to grow in that area, like your soul is pulling for you to grow in that area, but you're not able to grow in that area because you're not being honest. Anytime we are unhonest with ourselves about our situation, anytime we are unhonest with ourselves about the things that are going on around us, anytime we are not honest, we are out of alignment. What's so important about being honest and what's so important about being true is that we come from God, and God is love, which I've explained tons and tons of times, but God is love. Now, when you think about little quotes like the truth will set you free, when we are true and we are honest about who we are 100%, you can't help but be honest about the situations around you, okay? When we are looking to be real and when we are looking to be authentic in every sense of the word, in every space of our lives, being authentic, it sets the bar for how to live. Instead of being perfect, being authentic, being real with ourselves, sets the bar for how we live. If we are not authentic with ourselves, if we are not real with ourselves, Virgo, we find ourselves in a situation to where things are happening around us in our life and we're wondering like, how did this get here, blah, 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 because we're not being honest. When you're not honest, you're not in alignment with yourself. You're not in alignment with your truth. You're not in alignment with everything that's going on. That's going to throw you off every single time. I almost feel like, Virgo, the strive for perfection has done more harm than good to you, because no one is perfect. Nothing is perfect, okay? I feel like you have not been speaking your truth 100%. Because you're not comfortable to speak your truth. It's almost one of those things where I feel like somebody has been lying for so long, or been dishonest with themselves for so long, that they don't know how to be. Nothing is perfect, okay? Let's think of perfection, okay, in the way that God describes perfection. God knows that nothing can be perfect to 3D standards, to earth standards, because in his eyes, when he made all of us, he made all of us perfect. So when we think about, okay, well, what is perfect then? When God said perfect, what did he mean? He made us whole, which means he gave us all the tools. He gave us everything that we would ever need to survive and to make it here before we got here. Everything else is just fluff, really. Because we get trained, Virgo, and we get so used to looking for things outside of us that we forget and we don't realize that it's already here. It's already inside of us. God doesn't make, and this has been a theme a couple times this week that I've had to tune into. God doesn't make anything or anyone that he does not intend to take care of, okay? So when you think of perfection, Virgo, and you think of what it is to be perfect, I'm trying to be perfect, 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 perfect. Switch the definition of perfection to wholeness. What is it to be whole? Well, to be whole is to be honest. Even if you don't like the situation, even if you don't like what the answer to the question is, we have to be whole. Because when we get real and we get whole, then we get close to our OG state. Then we get close to our original state. Then the energy is being real. I feel like it's time to balance. You've lived as an earthly being. And when I say earthly, I say that because we're not from here, honey. We just live here. You've been an earthly being for so long. And it's coming down to the point to where you need to balance living here and being one of God's people, being from a higher place, being from a higher space. You need to find that balance. Now, Virgo, when we think of what a Virgo is, like if you've done any research on your sign, they'll say that the Virgo is like a virgin, but it's not a virgin who doesn't know anything about sex. It's not a virgin who doesn't know. I forgot the term they use for it, though. I haven't looked it up for a while because I'm not a Virgo. But it's not a virgin who doesn't know sex. This is a Virgo. This is a person who understands the anatomy of the human body just anyway. This is a person who knows every spot to hit, everywhere to touch. We might have a lot of Virgos who are like massage therapists or maybe do energy work. I mean, just some chiropractors but when it comes, or maybe you got a compliment from a couple of people, some lovers, some friends, about how you just got that touch. Virgos, y'all know where to touch. Y'all know all the spots to hit. And here in a physical world, I can see how you would be tempted or a temptuous person when it comes to physical activity or physicalities with another person. Some of you may have been trained one way or another, whether it was through like an incident in childhood or something that happened as you grew older, to put value in your body and in your touch instead of putting value into other things, like your mind and how it works. I feel like self-worth has been put more on your body and what maybe you can do for someone else physically, instead of what you can do for yourself. Does that make sense? I feel like for so long, Virgo, and this could be men too, you know, if you're walking around and, you know, maybe girls, maybe some women maybe said, you know, you got some huge junk, you know, whatever it is. I feel like you have felt for so long that you're just a very sexual being. That with you, it always comes down to sex. And sex is cool, but it ain't selling no more. So now you find yourself in a space of, you know, if my body has no worth, or if my touch has no worth, now what? That's where balance comes in, baby. That's where knowing who you are and knowing where you come from, aka God, that's where that comes in. Knowing that you're worth more than your body, knowing that you're worth more than your touch. But I feel like for so long, Virgo, you haven't seen anything other than that. So it's putting you in this place of confusion. I feel like you, Virgo, are in the bulk of that God breaking you down so that, you know, he can assist you in building yourself back up phase. Like your identity, or everything that you've known of your identity, is crumbling. And I feel like you are not comfortable making moves or making choices or making decisions because you're not confident in yourself. 2, I feel like the focus has been too much on relationships, and I sense some codependency issues. And I feel like it's time to move away from that. I feel like it's time to declare yourself as a sovereign being, and also to create that relationship. If you're looking for a relationship, I feel like it's time to put that relate that relationship to God. I feel like it's time to move up to that next level. Virgos, I'm not going to say that you're not believers, but what I'm going to say is the world that we live in is not God's world. This is very much so Satan's world. And so the things that we get taught here on this earth, you know, if we're 15, 20, hopefully no 15-year-olds are doing these readings because I don't think they're child appropriate. But, you know, if we're 21, if we're 30, you know, if we're 32, 40, you know, we've been on this earth for that long, and that's how long that we've kind of learned our role. And so, you know, being a person who gives into touch and temptation, because that is what Satan is about. Satan is a prince of temptation, you know. When you give into that, and that's been you for so long, sometimes it's hard to try to do things the godly way. Sometimes it's hard to turn off who we've been, and it's not about turning it off. It's about finding balance, okay? I feel like, and I want to say, I feel like this has kept you physically stagnant. I feel like there needs to be more balance for you, Virgo, between that world, well, between this world, the world we live in, and where we come from. I'm feeling and I'm hearing for you to, it's time to balance out. Okay. It's time to feed the spirit more. It's time to do things for the spirit. Okay. For so long, you've given into the senses of this world, but now it's time to move on. Okay. All right. 4. These are going to be, okay, these cards, these are my chakra cards, but because of the black background, these are going to be some big themes for you, okay? Some big things for you that are happening, okay? So, heart chakra space. I said that everybody is upgrading. As we move into 2022, okay? 2 plus 2, I'm sorry, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. We are going to be in the 6 energy. Big six mood. That's what I call it, Virgo, okay? Our hearts are starting to open up, moving towards that. And once we're in it, it's going to be all, once that energy's around us, that's what it's going to be all about. Virgo. Heart chakra healing is what you need, baby. There have been situations, there have been things that went on, I want to say during the past 3 years, because I'm getting a 3 here, during the past 3 years that have broken you down, that have crumbled you up, that have made you unrecognizable to the self. And I feel like you feel a sense of pity on yourself. I feel like you feel a sense of shame on yourself. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We all hurt. We all go through things. And even though I would say some of the most sensitive signs on the zodiac are like water signs, Virgo, you still have a sensitivity to you. Okay. I'm very much feeling like childhood trauma. You know, things that have just hurt the heart, kind of beyond repair. I feel broken hearts that never got healed. I feel like you were maybe owed some apologies that you never got. I feel like there's so much pressure and your heart is so heavy, but you have not given yourself permission to let go, to fully let go. And I feel like you have been trying to self-medicate or do things to hide that you're hurting. I don't think that you want to accept the hurt, because if you do, or if you admit that there's been hurt, then it's almost like it'll flood out and you'll be an emotional mess. I feel like someone's crying on the inside. And it just feels really heavy. Like really, really emotionally heavy. And I feel like you need heart work, okay? All right, so first things first, Virgo, okay? Because I feel like you're in an emotional tizzy. You're in an emotional mess. I feel like I need you to just breathe it in and breathe it out, okay? Breathe it in and breathe it out, because I'm feeling like it's very heavy. There's lots of stagnance here, and I feel like this chakra is not moving. It's not moving. The growth, and I'm taking the green aspect of this, because on this card, there is the green door. I was talking about the growth, the self-growth, the self-love. And then there's this heart chakra space card, and it's green. Even though I told you there's 2 chambers, but this one's clearly green. So that's the message. Okay, so your relationship with yourself, Virgo, I feel needs work. I feel like the self-love aspect is not there how it needs to be. I feel like you smile through it, though, because you don't know another way. Okay. What I would recommend to you is there are things that we can do to heal those energy centers. There are things that we can do to heal those, to heal that heart space, okay? So one of the things that I'll recommend to you, Virgo, is wear green, okay? Wear green, okay? Anytime, color, first of all, everything is vibrations. Everything is energy, okay? So colors, they hold a vibration, okay? They hold an energy. And when we wear colors, specific colors, we match the energy of whatever it is that we're trying to pick up. Kind of like, you put out one frequency, you get another frequency. It's the same kind of deal. So, Wear green. Spend time in nature. If you are fortunate to live somewhere where it's green right now and it's sunny, or even if it's just green, spend time in nature. Everything is connected. We are connected to nature. We are connected to the earth. If God, Father God, Mother Earth. So in a way, in a big scale, if we're looking at like the as above, so below type of situation, the reason that, nature can be so healing is because it's motherly, it's nurturing, okay? And that's something that we need when we're trying to uplift our heart space. So if you are fortunate to live somewhere where it's green, or you have access to nature, go sit in a park, go on a walk, take your kids out, take your dog on a walk. Get into that vibration, okay? Get into lifting the love, and trying to, because as the heart, it's opening up. Grinch style, our shit's opening up. So as we move to that time, to combat maybe some of the pain that you're feeling, Virgo, or some of the discomfort that you're feeling in your heart, there could be some chest pains going on, because, when we feel things emotionally, they manifest physically. It could be chest pains, it could be heartburn, you know, from a broken, those things will happen in that heart space if it's not healed. Wear green, go out in nature, eat green. Rose, the scent of rose. Now, a lot of the rose scent, it reminds a lot of people of like an older woman, an old lady, old people, nursing home. It's just one of those scents. If anybody has if anyone knows anything about like aromatherapy, it's just one of those scents that like everybody knows. But when I moved into my newer house, which it's almost been like a year that I've been here, a little bit, probably a month after I moved in here, my grandma passed, rest her soul. And I was just going through a lot anyway, like in my relationship, and coming out of just a space where I was depressed. I was depressed because I had lost all sense of purpose. Literally, my house is dark, and we know where there's no light, there's no God. And I was living a different life then anyways, But one of the things that really helped me moving forward, and it just hit me one day like a hunch, was the scent of rose. Like, I went and got a rose face wash. I went and got a rose body wash. I got rose salt beads. I got, rose scent, rose spray by the Heritage Store, which I really like. Rose spray by the Heritage Store. If you can get that, go ahead and get you some. Because what it is it's like a water, and they take the water, and they charge the molecules of the water to lift the vortex energy of it. So it's literally like drops of love. And it's just like a refresher spray. I spray it all over my face, all over my hair, all over my body, before I put on my rose lotion, of course. You want to surround yourself with that sense, because scents and sounds, those are going to be used, especially as we move on more. You may see more of this next year. Those are going to be used as things for healing. Sound frequency, smell, anything that can move the, things that can affect the five senses. A lot of that stuff can be used for healing. But when my grandma passed, one of the things that I used lots of rose. Pink became my favorite color again, out the blue. Because like I said, the two heart chambers, pink and green. You can wear pink also, really. You can wear pink or green, but the focus here really is on green. When you hear about the heart chakra a lot, you'll see that they use the color green more than they use the color pink. But I did learn that it had to do with the two different chambers. So you want to heal that heart space. We are love. That is what we are. So anytime we feel feelings of love, if we can just hold on to that feeling, that's who we are. That's how God made us to be. When we tap into that heart space, we are in alignment. We are in alignment with what we were created, because we come from love, born into sin to return to love. So when God brings us here, He knows that we're going to have struggles, Virgo. He knows that things are going to be hard. He knows, he knows that they're not going to be easy. We all face traumas. We all face troubles. We all have childhood shit. The children is the biggest reason why he's coming back, because he's tired of all the shit that's been done to children, especially the shit that's been done to children in his name. He's tired of that. But in order for us to get into alignment with him, Virgo, we have to be brave enough to let go of everything that's not serving us. We are love. Love is not anything that you have to buy. Love is not anything that you have to purchase. You were literally, your entire being was made from love. When God made you, he did it with such intention. He did it with such purpose. He did it with such love. And he took attributes, because I like to believe that God is just, he's everything. I mean, he's everything anyway. But he can do anything. And he took attributes, some of his best attributes, and he put them in this person and put them in that person. And he did what he saw fit, because he knows. He knows everything. So first of all, when he made you to be perfect. You were already perfect. You were already whole. And he made you out of love. Love is the strongest vibration. It is the strongest energy of everything. You come from love. And somewhere at about 3 or 4, I'm going to say 4 because there's a 4 on this card, you shifted from that. As you started to learn the ways of the earth, as you started to learn the ways of the prince's world, you fell. We all did. Further and further and further and further away from who we are. This is love. This is who we come here as. And when fucked up shit happens, Virgo, and it happens to us all, honey. It happens to us all, baby. When fucked up shit happens, we lose this and we become this. We become someone living in survival mode because we're taught by other people's actions, to us, to others around us, that now we have to survive. Fuck living. We're here to survive. We forget that we're just here to be loving. We're here to be kind. We're here to create. All that shit goes out the window because now we got to survive. But there has to be a point, Virgo. There has to be a point in our lives where we pick back up and we realize, I can't live like this. I can't continue to try to survive anymore. I have children. Some of us have. I have children. Do I want to teach my children to survive, or do I want to show my children to live? That choice, when we come face down to that choice, Virgo, and we decide, you know what, I'm going to keep trying to survive. I'm going to keep trying to hide the pain. I'm going to keep living a very physical life. I'm not going to feed the spirit. This is who I am now. When we accept survival mode, we pass that on to our children, and they pass that on to their children. And hopefully somewhere in there, somebody can break the curse. But Virgo, I feel like, especially if you're here with me in this moment, I feel like you're being called. Many will be called. Few will be chosen. But I feel like you're not answering the call to the best of your ability. What are you afraid of? Failure? We're all afraid of failing. What if you fail? But what if you fly? 2, choices. You have to make choices, honey. Because if you don't make choices, life is going to choose for you. And when life chooses for you, don't get mad because you could have made that choice. You have to find the power in you. Think about all the things you love, Virgo. Think about all the things that you really, really, really love. Okay? Choose those choices. Make the things that you really love the reason why. Make those things the reason why you fight. Make those things the reason why you make the hard choices. But with the 4 energy, it's a reminder that you have angels. You have ancestors. You have people in the lineage before you. Loving you, supporting you, and guiding you to make better choices. Whenever we see 4, 44, 444, excuse me, know that the angels are guiding you. Know that they're loving you. Know that they're supporting you. Know that they're wanting you to move forward. I always feel grandma energy every time I talk about angels. Because I feel like, well, I know God's putting the army together. I know he's putting the battle together. But I feel like grandmas all have a very special place in a lot of people's hearts. Now, I know some people may not have had grandmas or may not have had great relationships with grandmas, but that doesn't mean ooh, ooh, that doesn't mean that there's not a grandma in your lineage with supportive motherly energy, like a great great grandmother. The angels, they're going to be by your side helping you to heal that heart space, but they need for you to do some physical work, okay? They're needing for you to make a conscious effort to heal, whether this be through books, whether this be through workshops, whether this be through a simple change in diet, whether this be through a change in lifestyle. They are needing you to make the effort, but they're wanting you to know that you are loved, supported, and guided. This month for you is about healing. It's about taking a look at the inner child. Okay. 6, third eye. Uh-oh, got some seers in the building. Okay, third eye energy. Now, third eye is indigo blue, okay? It's the 6th chakra. My name's Ashley Indigo. That is what I do. Ooh, sorry, sometimes when these readings happen, if it's like a lot of energy, in and out through me, I'll yawn. So I'm definitely not tired because I had a great night's sleep. Um, God's people are going to be able to see. They are going to be able to see some things that other people cannot see. They're going to be able to feel, hear things. To me, this is an upgrade. This is gifts, okay? Because you have that sensitivity anyway, as far as being able to just like I said, the Virgo is a virgin who understands the anatomy and all the different spots and all the different parts of the body. And as we move into 2022 and our heart space opens up and we start to be more authentic, there is an upgrade, people. There's an upgrade of abilities. There's an upgrade of the ability to see. There's an upgrade of the ability to hear. God is talking to anybody who is listening back, okay? I feel like if you're here with me in this space, Virgo, you are a spiritual person. And I don't mean religious, I mean a spiritual person, okay? Maybe coming from a religious family and not having any experience, with religion. So maybe you're not comfortable to call yourself religious, or maybe you just flat out don't believe in, some of the things that you grew up learning, or maybe you do have knowledge of those things, but it's just not gelling with you where you're at right now. To be honest with you, Virgo, who really wants to hear about that stuff when you're living a very physical life, okay? It's almost like you would shun the idea of that. But when we talk about upgrades, this is just part of basic human evolution. Once we are lined up with ourselves authentically, once you work on that heart space, I feel like some of you are going to hear, see, and feel things, but I'm here to tell you not to be afraid. Because as we start to live authentically, as we start to live off that heart space, as this chakra opens up, as we allow things to come out of it and this space to lighten up, we are going to start to see. So I feel like there's probably going to be some headaches here, some headaches here, some headaches in the back. You may notice some headaches on the top, the crown. Intuition is strengthening. So you might think about somebody and they pop up or call. You might say, okay, I'm going to do this, but then decide to do this and then find out, well, damn, you should have done the first thought. I feel like lots of those instances popping up. Some deja vu. Um, as these gifts develop, I'm going to say to trust them. And I would even say to get a notebook and to write down some of these things as they happen. Now, if you don't notice any increase in intuition, if you're not having any clairvoyance, if you're not having any of those, if none of those things are happening for you, then what I'm going to say is it's because you're not stepping into the heart space. These are things, clairvoyance and all these, everybody has abilities and everybody has some type of gift of that nature, some type of ESP. Everyone has it, yes, because that is what connects us to God. That a lot of that is how God talks to us. Like, for instance, if God has something that he wants me to know, sometimes I'll see it like a mind, and this is while I'm awake that this shit happens. Sometimes I'll see it like a mind movie. Like I'll be doing something and like this whole movie will kind of play in my mind, or I'll have like a thought and like different images will pop up. Or like when I read, sometimes I'll hear something, it's kind of, my dad jokes and he calls them like the whispers. I'll hear something and when I read a lot, or just if I'm looking at something, or if there's some type of communication, something, because God talks through everything, then I'll hear something right here. Or just sometimes I'll get the feels. Like sometimes I'll just feel something and my attention will be, there's so many different ways, but a lot of that has developed the more honest that I've been with myself. The more that my heart chakra space opens up, the more that I trust that voice, the more that I feel that voice, the more that I pay attention to the world around me, those things start to heighten up. The number 6 here, that also has to do with growth. That's part of your growth. As we open up our heart, you're going to start to see those things unfold a little bit more. The one thing that I'm going to tell you, because people don't know, the one thing that I'm going to tell you when it comes to any type of like ESP, when it comes to any type of like a special ability, please put God first, okay? Because if you don't, and say you get these psychic abilities and you go read a deck of cards and you're reading, everything's peachy and we're never putting God first, you might find, and you think you're using these great tools, you might fuck around and find yourself being used as a tool. Okay? Now, anytime we're in the spiritual world, anytime we're dealing with anything like that, if we're not firm in God, if we have not pledged our allegiance to God, you can be used. You can't. That's why, some people will say, oh, well, let me throw the cards out, blah, blah. Because a lot of people will get to this point, Virgo, and they won't know what the fuck they're doing. They will not know. Now, because you're a feeler, more than anything, I'm going to say that your upgrade is just going to be in feeling what's happening around you and the upgrade of intuition. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull one more card and also this card means to spend time with your higher self. 6, that means your higher self wants to spend time with you. Now, if you guys don't know, which at this point you guys should know because I say this all the time, your higher self is 3 years old. Your 3-year-old self. So the ability, not trusting in yourself to make decisions. That's because there's something with your inner child to where there's no confidence. Okay. Now the 4, the angel protection, that's going to help you be brave enough to talk to the inner child, to communicate with the inner child. If anyone has any questions on how do I get in touch with my inner child, there's so much information out there. There's so many books you can read. There's a workshop that I did by the Hood Healer. Love her. You can do that one. She has one on her OnlyFans. Instagram, there's so many different inner child healing coaches out there. You just have to find one that is best for you. Okay, if this is something that you're really wanting to invest in, if this is something that you're really wanting to grow in, okay, you can do that. Okay, but you have to be committed to the process, because it's not an easy process, Virgo. It is a process of tears. It is a process of just honesty. You know, it's also a process of, a lot of us children have things that, you know, our parents told us not to talk about, or things that were unacceptable to ask questions about. Well, shit, we grown now. So we're asking questions, we're talking about things. You know, it's so, the older people have this way about them that keeps the inner child part of us stuck, to where, say you're an adult and now this older person is an adult, you don't even want to speak up because you've been taught your whole life that there's some type of superiority over you because this older person is older. You know what I mean? But times are changing. I feel like there's a way to address things. There's a way to say things to older people in a respectful way, of course, but we have a right to speak up. And Virgo, one word that's just kind of like lingering around me is, when it comes to you, it's just like secrets. Secrets. Like, you've been taught to keep secrets. And it's time to come out of that. You know, it's time to shed light, because it's all coming out to the light anyway. So, you know, do yourself a favor and shed that light while you're still here. Shed that light while you're still alive. That way you can enjoy the benefits of being honest and of being in your truth, of being aligned with the heart space. Okay. Once we are in alignment with that heart space, once we spend time with our inner child and wake that inner child up, we can start living in our truth. You know, paying attention to what we really see, what we really feel, what we really hear, and not having a lid or a container on top of that. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. This is crazy. Hold on 1 second. You're not even going to believe it. I almost got decks mixed up. It's going to take a little longer to mix this one up. Give me 1 second, Virgo. See, like, for now, this isn't a perfect moment, okay? I know how you feel about perfection. And the Scorpio moon in me is like, bitch, are you for real? You mixed cards up and now you got, you know. But, you know, when these moments happen, it's just to test me. It's just to test my gangster. It's just to see how spiritually developed I am. It's just to see that every moment can't be perfect, Ashley. Every moment can't be perfect, Virgo. Everything can't be planned out perfectly how you want it to be sometimes. Sometimes we just got to learn to deal with what God gives us and go with the, you know, roll with the punches, okay? In a perfect world, I would not be here unmixing and mixing up these cards. They're all messed up from decks. And I was playing with my decks this weekend when my sister was here. I'm telling you, the inner perfectionist could scream at this right now, but I am not going to. Okay? You know, we can handle the moments that aren't perfect with grace. All right, there we go. Got them all together, and it took me about a minute or two. Okay, so we're mixing our cards up here. The angels and ancestors, okay? Now, like I told you, they're going to be with you, guiding you, supporting you, loving you, you know, through all this, because we're all in this together. I've actually, at one point or another, seen some type of reunion, but I don't know how that's going to work out. It was another one of those mind movies. All right. Here we go. Virgo. Self-care. Self-care is what it's all about for you this winter, okay? I've gotten this card a couple times, so I know it all too well. Wolf. Okay, it's a wolf. It's a winter. Take care of your needs, okay? What is so special about the wolf, okay, is in the winter time, which it's winter time, you know, there's no snow or anything outside to confirm it. Looks like our summers are turning into winters and our winters are turning into summers, but that's just what God told us would happen. What's symbolic about the wolf in the winter is, in the winter, a lot of people go into hermit mode. Lots of people, they stay in, they're inactive because it's cold. Who wants to be outside? Who wants to be moving around? Lots of people just kind of, it's holiday season. We eat, we get fat, we spend time, we binge eat more. It's just really a time where we're just to ourselves. Well, the wolf is one of the only animals that still moves in the wintertime. A wolf is one of those that's still hustling and bustling like it's spring and summer outside. They're doing what needs to be done to make sure that they have what they need to have. They're taking care of their needs, okay? They're taking care of their needs because they understand that if I don't get out there and get it, who's going to get it? If I don't make these decisions for me, who's going to make these decisions for me? And that's the energy that you need to have right now, Virgo. It's not time to rest. Where lots of people like to withdraw in the winter and be to themselves, this is a time to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. What needs to be taken care of you for this winter, Virgo, this lovely December and through the rest of this winter, is you need to take care of your heart. You need to take care of your heart space energy. I feel like you are worn out. I feel like you are tired. I feel like you're constantly worrying about making sure that everybody else is good, so much to the effect that you don't take care of you the way that you need to take care of you. So this may be someone who has like a significant other that they are trying to impress, that they are trying to please. So everything that they do may be done to get the affections of the significant other. Someone may have children that, they do everything for their children. Their children is their life force energy, blah, 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 to the point that they may not be holding their children accountable. They may not be, they may not be holding their children accountable. They may just kind of be taking on all the weight for, maybe some trouble that their children causes, or I feel you being overly selfless to the point that it's affecting the way you live, the way you think about yourself, the way you feel about yourself, the way you treat yourself, okay? It's really time to hone it in and take care of yourself this winter. Lots of self-care, which the number 6, like I said, moving into 2022, moving into the big 6 mood, it's all about love, self-love, growth, justice, spending time with the higher child, taking care of yourself and taking care of that higher child, that inner child, the part of you that is connected to God. Healing that heart space, that allows room to be authentic with that inner child. That allows you to look at that inner child. It allows you to look at the 3-year-old you, the 6-year-old you, the 7-year-old you, the 12-year-old you, the 17. I mean, there's so many different parts of us that we just kind of shut our back to. But Virgo, it's time for you to see yourself. It's time for you to embrace yourself for who you really are and not who you've made yourself out to be. There's so much raw, untapped potential inside of you, but I feel like you're playing. I feel like you're scratching the surface instead of digging in with both fucking hands and just doing the work. And I feel like with just this moment I have with the cards and things not being perfect, I feel like you're waiting for a perfect moment. But the moments are what you make them. There's never going to be a perfect moment if you don't get in there and you don't make the choices that need to be made. The perfect moment isn't going to fall in your lap. The perfect chance, the perfect opportunity, it's not going to go like that. It's one of those things where you kind of have to go out and you got to grab life by the horns and you got to fucking do it. You just got to do it. You have to do what's best for you. And as we move into the 6, if you do the work, if you heal that heart space, that's what's the most important at all this. Because the 3rd chakra stuff, that comes with healing. You know what I'm saying? Like that upgrade comes with healing. It's kind of like, okay, you've done the work. Congratulations. Because where we're going, the world that we're moving into, you're going to need that success. You're going to need to follow that. Some crazy things are going to happen. But where you fall in this world just depends on the relationship that you have with yourself and the relationship that you have with God. And you can either leave that relationship up in the air, Virgo, or you can declare that relationship so hard, so loudly, that when everybody hears you, they know, oh, here's that girl coming who loves God, but she's, you know what I mean? She's on top of her shit. When we deny God, we deny ourselves, we deny our inner child, and vice versa. You can't accept one without accepting the other. All right, Virgo, I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. You have a blessed day.